Hey guys, it's Alex, and today I'm here with a book review for Brother I'm Dying by Edwidge Dantica. This is a nonfiction book, almost kind of memoir-esque, about Edwidge Dantica's life growing up in Haiti and then immigrating to the United States. It's mostly about her father and her uncle, and both of their deaths and what led up to those deaths. Her father was very ill for a long time, and her uncle died while in American custody. I gave this book 3 stars. I really wanted to fall in love with Edwidge Dantica's writing. I've heard a great many wonderful things about her, and I had read some of her short stories a few years back when I was in college and enjoyed those. But for this book, I really struggled to get into the writing. I really struggled to get into the story. The content was very interesting to me. I really enjoyed learning about her life in Haiti. I enjoyed learning about her father and her uncle. It was an interesting story, and that compelled me through this book. But the writing itself, I didn't really find that it worked. It felt too simple, and not simple in the beautiful artistic way that I often feel Hemingway's writing is, but simple in the way that it just felt very basic. It left me feeling disconnected from the story and really unable to care as much as I wanted to care. At the beginning, I was worried that I was going to give this 2 stars because I really wasn't enjoying the writing style at all, but as I got into it, I did get more used to it and it got much more enjoyable, but still only a 3 star for me. I do want to read some of her other books because I know she mostly writes fiction, I believe, and since this is nonfiction, I'd be curious to see if her writing style is any different. But I just really couldn't get into it, and that was really disappointing to me. I also had an issue with the number of story threads in this book. She follows her own childhood, her own life, her pregnancy, but she also focuses on her father, both leaving Haiti as well as his death and his getting sick and dying. And she focuses on her uncle and her uncle's entire life, from coming to America for surgery to remove a tumor on his throat, to returning to America after his church is burned in Haiti and he's running away and is eventually detained and dies in custody. There was a lot going on, and it didn't feel like it had enough of a cohesive element for all these different parts. And that made it especially difficult in the beginning when I didn't know these characters, I didn't know these people, I didn't know their stories. Towards the end, that definitely helped a lot and got a lot better because I was more used to what was going on. But when she was switching around at the beginning, I didn't really know the point. And that was a big issue for me, was that the story didn't feel like it had a point. It did feel kind of aimless. And as a reader, it left me feeling aimless. It was interesting. The events that happened were interesting. But the writing itself didn't feel like it gave the story a greater meaning than just the literal events. And I feel like that led up to the issue I had with the ending, which was that it didn't have much of a conclusion to the book. Her uncle died, and then the book pretty much stopped there. It didn't feel like it wrapped everything up. And obviously, with a book like this, with a nonfiction book, I don't expect a neat ending. But I do expect some kind of conclusion. I expect for what has happened in the book to matter in some way. And in this book, it felt like she was just telling the story, and she told the story, so then she stopped. And I didn't really enjoy that too much. But I still found this book really worthwhile to read, and it still left me wanting to read more of Dantica's work. She really does a wonderful job of capturing the lives of these people on Haiti, and obviously this is nonfiction, she's not dealing with fictional characters that she's created, but they feel so real, and I do think that's something that's important even in nonfiction, even when these people are real. For me, I don't know them, they exist as characters in this book, nonfiction or fiction. She made me connect to their stories, even though not quite as much as I wanted to, but it was still very emotional. There were parts of this book that were very heart-wrenching, especially when she was talking about her own childhood in Haiti and how her parents left because they left for America before they could bring their children with them. And she spent a decade of her life living with her uncle, and her uncle essentially being her second father, her main father, because she hadn't seen her original father since she was 2. I kind of wanted more of that, not just of her life, but of all their lives, more of the day-to-day, more time to get to know these people. Because a lot of this story was told in small scenes over the course of decades, and I really wish it had been a little bit more condensed, because I do prefer a more condensed story that's slow-paced, and this felt very, very fast. It felt like there were so many different scenes and so many different moments that I would have preferred some of them be more drawn out, to have more time with these people. But at the end of the day, I learned a lot from this book. I learned a lot about what Haiti was like in this book. And it was emotional. It was heart-wrenching, some of the things that happened. And it was worthwhile. This is one that I would definitely recommend. I don't think it was a favorite of mine. I don't think it ever will be a favorite of mine. But I'm very glad that I read it, and I'm very glad that I picked it up and learned about her life and her family's lives. I will definitely be trying to read some more of her, even if she's not going to be a favorite overall, but I do think she's someone who's worthwhile to read. Because I don't hear a lot about many Haitian authors, and her stories are interesting. Let me know down below if you've read Brother I'm Dying, or if you've read any other books by Edwidge Dantica, and what you thought of them if you have. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all again soon.